Alright, YouTube, this is 2 Cent back at you with my 2 cents on Echoes of Mana, and today we are looking at the level 80 tower fight, the boss in there, who we go up against Crimson Wizard himself. So in the background you'll see that we have our fight going on. This is actually my very first attempt, and here let me just kind of show you a little bit of the party that I'm using for that. And basically you want to be able to have physical damage and magical damage, because at different phases in the fight, he's going to shift his defenses, where he'll take basically no physical or no magic damage, and you're going to want to be able to switch out your damage dealer in your slot 1 there to be able to compensate for whichever one he's actually going to take damage from at the time. And then in my slot 2, I went ahead and I put two con debuffing characters, and this is mostly because Seraphina's con debuff is actually magic damage, and I only have one magic damage unit that's built up, and that's Crimson Wizard. If I had the ability to put like an Angela in here or Popio or something like that, that's what I would have in this slot 2 instead of her, but that's not where I'm at, and one day I'll be able to get the resources to build those up as well. And then in slot 3, I brought Sumo, which I think he's great to bring almost to every scenario, but I actually think you're going to need his heals in this event. It is pretty challenging, and not having that heals, I would not have been able to complete all of the challenges with this to be able to unlock the next dupe for my Crimson Wizard. So that's kind of the team I'm using. As you can see here, the fight going on in the background. Here, I'm going to get myself out of the way here for a sec. So basically, as you can see here, I'm trying to whittle him down, and it's kind of difficult. You have to, like, when he teleports is when he's going to be changing. And you can see up there at the top in the red, it says now resisting physical attacks. But you can see it takes me a little bit to change over to use my next guy, and I can't even get through this shield here all the way before he does his big AoE. And I think this is what's really going to hurt most of the player base out there, is this huge AoE. I was barely able to survive between my 3 characters, and I immediately have to switch out my Hawkeye for my Seraphina, because he is just no longer going to be able to be out there. I see Sumo's getting really low on his heals, and I want him to utilize those for my DPS units and for himself. So one thing I would definitely suggest, if you can build around it, is to have those 2 magic units, because it seems like that's when he does that phase that he needs to be beaten out of. And so had I had an additional magic user in there, or had saved maybe some extra of my cooldowns or something like that for that, once again, this was my very first run, and so there's definitely some additional sort of tweaking and adding to this that I could do to make it better. But hopefully this kind of showcases helping you to, when you go in here, to decide what team to use and to be able to set yourself up for success, because I do think this is probably the most challenging content that we currently have, especially when you're working on getting that full completion on it, to be able to get the 200 points that you're going to need, or the 200 charge you're going to need to get your next dupe of Crimson Wizard. So you can see I'm super low in here, down to just, what, 206 HP, 205 HP there. And Sumo is basically out of heals. What other thing that might be nice here is if you had 2 healers in your last slot to be able to change out to keep going here. I am now having to rely basically on complete dodging for my main character here to be able to keep him alive in that phase. Luckily, we are in a physical phase, and we're just going to be able to beat him back right here. So if you need to see how low everybody is, Sumo's out of MP, Crimson Wizard's out of MP, but he does have Ruler of the World on, which was what was helping me in this fight. I do suggest keeping that memory gem on your Crimson Wizard, or whoever you're bringing in to do your magic damage, to keep them, their MP up for when you need to switch them in. But you can see here, we're just going to be able to pick up these crystals here, And then what you'll need to do is you'll need to go over into your missions tab and be able to collect the rest of your crystals over there, and then take all those over to the shop. You should get 200, one for just the completion of the stage, and the other one for the completing it in the S ranking, and be able to go over and grab your Chrism Wizard dupe. Anyway, I hope everybody the best of luck on their runs, and that's been my 2 cents.